Hi, we're Chris and Teresa, and we would love to guide you on your fiber arts journey. We own a successful fiber processing mill and online needle felting business, experienced at raising all fiber animals, and have renovated a 100-year-old school into a fiber arts retreat center.
Processing, needle felting, yarn, roving, fiber animals, and sustainable agriculture are all topics discussed here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for advice, information, tips, and getting your questions answered on all things from farm to needle. So pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be inspired while you learn. This is EweTube.
Welcome to EweTube number 207. And we are... Oh!
No, that's not what you should do.
That wasn't good. We are going to do a...
I've done that.
Why?
It doesn't want to be wet.
It's not supposed to be wet. Dry it off with my pantyhose. And we are here to do we're going to do a project, and we're down in Clink's room, and Clink's room is one of our classrooms, so it's appropriate that we're down here. And this
so appropriate.
This is a project that Teresa is going to tell me how to do.
Did I have you watch a video? Yeah, you watched it for 2 seconds and you walked away.
Probably because I'm like a squirrel.
Okay, so Libby and I did this the other day. Several people have asked if we could do a class on this, and they've seen it on Instagram, I believe. And they made a purse with a ball like this, only much bigger. I thought we'd start small.
It's smaller
It's a
version.
learning curve here. And so then you put wool on it and you felt it. But first they would wrap yarn around there, which Libby and I just did it with wool.
We have some yarn right here.
They wrap different colors of yarn around. We're going to use different kind of silks.
That's banana silk. Okay, we have banana silk, we have pulled sari silk, and we have cornmeal wool, which is a very fine wool.
And so it takes a very fine wool like merino or cornmeal to do this. It doesn't really work with Romney because wet felting with Romney isn't the best. Needle felting with Romney is the best. So Libby and I made these little
Baskets.
baskets. And we just made them with merino wool. It was our first experiment with it. And so Chris and I thought we would try it out tonight with some of them silks. So
Are we using some yarn too? Because this is cornmeal yarn, so.
I just don't know how they get it. Where's the end?
I don't know.
We don't have
I got
scissors.
several of these. Here's an end. Find another end here.
So like I said, we didn't do. So you got to make sure that you leave this part where you can see. So I'm putting it on the top.
Hold your horse.
I'm getting ahead.
Find an end.
With sticks. Look at this we need different color yarn.
What?
It sticks.
It sticks?
Better than I thought. I really wasn't sure about this part.
Is
how
it gonna
would work?
Oh, it does stick. So how are you doing this?
I'm just wrapping it
How?
like this.
Oh.
But make sure that
Half of it?
hole is at the top.
Got the
So you always know where the hole is. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Oh yeah. Look at that.
I know it's working better than.
Kind of fun. Need another piece of yarn. Got gypped on mine. And we have a little soap in with our water here. Did you mention that?
I did not.
Okay, we're only doing half of this ball product here. Is that right?
Well, kind of. Oh, you're getting me wet.
Well, you know, it's part of it.
It really shouldn't be. So I have no idea what this is going to do, if it's going to stick. I hope it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
Okay,
Ah,
I'm enough. I've got enough.
you're enough.
Oh, you got to dip that too?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do a
We
little.
didn't do this.
Okay, I'm going to do a little.
It doesn't come out
I
the
don't
same.
think that's it. Are you sure it's supposed to get this wet? I don't know about that.
Maybe we shouldn't get it wet.
I'm not going to get this wet. I'm going to throw that piece away.
Okay.
Let's see, now the ball is wet, so
Your ball is wet.
I'm just going to
So when we put the wool on, we would just tap it like this with wet. That's much better. Do that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Put that on and then...
And then tap.
Hey, without getting it soaking wet.
Somehow I'm in your workspace.
I don't know why you're on me.
I don't have enough room. This is kind of cool.
I like it so far.
Yeah. I think I might have to have some of your color too.
You can have some. What color you want?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because yours is going to be too pink. I've already decided.
Yeah, it's very vivid.
I got some gold.
Oh, the gold is pretty. Gold is pretty. Mm-hmm. Oh,
I really like this stuff. This is beautiful.
I think the banana silk. That's banana silk, and banana silk is it's one of the blending fibers we have in the mill, and it's made from a banana tree. In the same manner they make bamboo.
You want some of my purple?
No, I'm going to use this multi. Going multi.
So our thought was to
So we're layering. Is this what we're doing? Layering.
well, because next we're going to put wool over the top of it
Okay.
and felt that on it, and then turn it inside out when we're done, so that you see this stuff.
Montage that we're putting on here. And you could really do this with any ball that you get from Walmart or something. You don't have to buy it. Did you buy something special?
No, they're just
any
balls
ball?
that I have the blower upper thing. Of course
Yeah,
you're
then
gonna
you
want
just
that.
suck the air out, right?
Yeah, well, you don't suck it out, you just let it out.
So how much of this embellishing do we?
As much as you want.
As much as we want. Okay. And you're only doing half, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Half of the ball.
You're doing, well, I'm doing like the middle section, because if it's a bag, you're gonna wanna see this section. This is gonna be the opening, hopefully. Up on top.
So there should be like some type of a line.
Well, when Libby and I did it, we just did the whole ball.
Oh, and then I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be so wet when I leave.
Well, it'll feel good
And then
when
we
you go
cut it.
outside.
No, I don't know about that in a storm.
It's sunny out. There's not some storm.
So how does this stick? Have you done any of this stuff? What is this called?
Yeah,
You have
that's
done this?
yes. I stuck it on and then I got it wet. That's the sari silk. Pulled sari silk is what it is.
Pulled. Because they pulled it apart.
Because they pulled it apart and carded it, and that's why it's in kind of the roving form. It's pretty. So how's the sheep doing?
The sheep are doing good.
Sheep are doing good.
This week we,
Other than sore mouth.
there's a problem with sore mouth,
There's-
but that's in every
That's
thing.
a common thing.
This week we vaccinated the bucket babies
Bucket babies.
for salmonella.
Oh, did you?
We gave the first dose of vaccine to the bucket babies and the rams, and went pretty smoothly, except it was so hot and muggy.
Ugh. And
That-
flies, I bet.
Okay, and so the bucket babies all have sore mouth, or they don't all have it. Sore mouth is this, I don't know, it looks like leprosy. Not that I've ever seen leprosy, but it's what I've imagined leprosy to be, on their lips. And it's just crusty,
Looks painful.
not even cold sores, but worse, all over their lips.
Do they get maggots on their lips from that?
They haven't? We've never seen that.
Good. Okay.
It's horrid, the thought.
It's that time of year. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry.
Interesting editing it will be.
I say leave it. Okay.
So
Anyway,
sore
so
mouth.
sore mouth. No kissing of the sheep because it's
I don't kiss
contagious.
the sheep. I never have kissed a sheep.
I kiss sheep.
And I've told her not to because you can get sore mouth. People can get sore mouth.
And it's a
but
virus,
some
so they
of-
could be carrying even if they're not showing, right?
So if I choose to share pictures of sore mouth, which some of them have it really bad, it gets so bad and it's like bleeds and it just looks awful. And
How long does it last?
I was a week,
Oh.
if not more, or 2 weeks. But and it goes to all the lambs. It's a virus, and you can't do anything about it. There's no vaccine. There's no cure. You can't give them antibiotics. It doesn't work because it's a virus. So they get it. They get it once, and they never get it again. And so it's just something that they have to go through. But at the same time, it's disgusting. I love taking pictures of the lambs, and when they have sore mouth, it's no fun.
Yeah.
So if I do share a picture, I know you're going to say there's got to be something you can do because it looks awful, but there isn't. And so when we worked the bucket babies, they all had the sore mouth. Well, they didn't all have it. Some of them had sore eyebrows. Some of them had sore nose. I thought it was just sore mouth, but it was
Sore face.
sore face,
Oh.
which was more than anyway, knowing that we can get it, both Jeff and I wore gloves, which we wear gloves because we were giving him the salmonella vaccine, and we don't want to, have that get on us either. And so we were wearing gloves, and it was so hot and muggy that like sweat was dripping off our faces, and so you're trying not to touch. So you're touching them, we have gloves on, but then you're just trying to get the sweat.
And then inside your gloves, you're sweating to beat the bands.
So if you change gloves thinking, I was just infected with this stuff, you can't get another one back on because it's so wet. It was kind of disgusting like that. It's been so cool and wonderful here for the past month
It has been.
more.
Absolutely.
But now it's hot and muggy, and it was kind of a struggle. When we were very concerned about doing the rams, how that was going to go, but we came up with a system and it worked very well. Which was get them in this. So I figured this out when we were lambing. I would get the ewe in this little part, and then I would open this little gate and pin them behind the gate. So we kind of did that with
the rams.
With the rams.
Perfect.
We got them in with a bucket of grain, and they came in, except for the torts. Torts are Chevy's babies. Which that's why we have them, because I love Chevy. Chevy was always very athletic. She could jump, but she was always so beautiful, so I kind of just let it pass. These rams were kind of done with this jumping over things. The one, we were trying to just get him in there, and we were very gentle, just luring them in with grain. And he's like, I am having none of it. I will stand in the gate part way, and I know you're going to try and lock me in here, so I'm not going to go all the way in, and I'm watching behind me. And then if you approach him, he's just going to turn and run. And then he would jump like in the air and ram into the gate, thinking he's going to get through somehow. They're crazy. And they're the ones that would jump and leap over the fences during breeding season, and we don't want to deal with it. So one of them's going, because they're worse together.
Yep. So what are you selling them?
They're twins. The torts is tortellini and tortelloni. And
they're pasta.
yeah, and they are Chevy's babies, and they...
So what are you selling one as a ram?
Yeah, we're selling one.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to just put it to market, or...?
Yeah, we're selling it at the sale barn.
Oh, okay. As a ram,
Yeah.
Somebody will get a nice ram.
Yeah, he's a very nice ram. So then the one, because there was like, let's watch, see who's the craziest. It was, of course, the nicest looking one. And I'm like, oh, but that one would make the cutest babies and the most beautiful babies. And the other one doesn't look as well. But then the other one, when we checked his eyes, had a worm issue.
Oh.
So we wormed him, and we're thinking, well, maybe he'll come out of it. And
Yep.
he's not as wild as this other one.
Yep.
And we do have several wethers right now that are just insane. They just try to jump over anything. And they're
Really?
as soon as you're trying to work them or get them into a pen, that's when they're just like, we have to jump or we have to ram into something, and it's just ludicrous. I don't understand. So they got to be the torts babies. And so we're questioning our breeding of these, just because they love Chevy, but they're beautiful. And we also noticed that when we were checking their eyes, so we check all of their eyes, it's the FAMACHA score, where you have to you lower their eyelid and look, and if it's really white, that means you need to deworm them. If it's really, really pink or bright red color, they don't have to. But all of Chevy's baby, which are BFL crosses, you can't pull down their eyelid.
What the world?
They have different eyes, and it's like so firm. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like every time we get one, we're like, another one of Chevy's baby. No, we can't pull down their eyelid and check. You try several times. It's just like, it's really firm. It doesn't pull down. So then you have to look. So you can look at their gum. Their, how do you say, gooms or
Gums. I always say gums. I've heard people say gooms, but anyway.
It's such one of those confusing things.
Yes, where the teeth go into that area.
And if that's really white, so you can
Oh,
look at
okay.
that. Just
That
because
too.
That isn't always easy either.
Yeah.
So we have done that with all of them. And then some of the bucket babies, so we discussed maggots a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? A couple weeks ago? And there's some of them, so we're changing them up from their current creep feed, which has a limiter in it, which means they can't eat too much of it. And then the next stage up is a creep feed that doesn't have the limiter. So we've been giving it a little bit at a time. So that causes them to have a little more runny poop.
So maggots have come.
No, well, not yet, but we have to trim them.
You caught it in time.
So we would have to take these.
Oh no, the poopy butts.
And they're so huge now.
Oh,
so
gosh.
We would run them all into this pen because our little runway system and sorting head gate thing is up at this pasture.
Oh.
Because we have to work them one more time. Because we have to vaccinate the yearling ewes with their breeding vaccines. Anyway, so we left that there. So all we had them is in this pen, and so Jeff would have to catch them, and then he'd have to lift them and put them out when we were done. It's like, you're gonna break your back.
Yes.
They're so huge right now. And I would have to be monitoring. So we would check their eyes and then give them their salmonella vaccine. And then I would have to monitor their butts. And if there were any poopy or like wet poop, we would shave them. Just to prevent the maggots. There were several. So that was fun stuff. I'm so sick of it.
But no maggots.
We didn't find any maggots,
Good.
but this is preventative.
Yep, this is good. Good
Because we would
news.
much rather have to
The
trim
preventative than deal with that.
poopy wool than
Yep.
it's disgusting when you are trimming and you come upon maggots.
Yeah, I can't imagine. What do you do then?
You just
You
keep
clean them out?
You
You keep
shear
shearing the
more
maggots
off.
off?
You
Yeah.
shear farther than you see where you see the maggots. You shear farther, and then we have a spray. So we sprayed all the ones now, even if they didn't have maggots. But there's a spray
As a preventative, yeah.
that kills them. And
That's good. So they're good.
yeah, they're all good so far.
It just isn't fun.
It's no.
Yeah. Aggressive with that.
This is not working the same. So experiment with different bowls.
Yes, this is good.
This is Cormo.
It's working good.
No, much different than what Libby and I did.
And you're like, how would you know if it's good or not?
Because it was like thin little strips we put on, and they stayed. Well, these are staying, but
Understanding.
I think it's going to work in the end. It's just working differently.
Okay, now your ball is almost covered. Is my ball supposed to be covered?
Well, because the more the better, because you can cut away, but you can't add when you're done. Right?
Right.
It's working. It's working okay. I was nervous there for a while that it wasn't gonna be like what we had.
Because it wasn't exactly like what you did before.
I'm scared.
This is really nice. It's really cool. I think I'm going to add a little more right here. Cover up
So yeah,
the
mine is
leaves.
almost closed because you can just see the hole where I need to poke the dealie in. And then you rub gently. Rub, rub, rub.
I think mine has enough on it now. I think it has enough.
So you want to felt it a little before you put it. So we're going to put it in a nylon. But you don't want it to come apart while you're putting it in the nylon. So Libby and I felted ours pretty good. Just by slightly rubbing. I don't have a lot of suds. I want more suds. How come you have more suds?
I don't know, I did this.
Oh,
And then when you rub, you can't press very hard, I see.
right.
Because it moves it around too much and gathers it into little lines. Little piles. I'm really curious to see what the inside of this is going to look like.
Yes, it'll be exciting.
See, here I am.
If our printer worked,
Oh my goodness.
we would have printed it. It's not working.
Okay, I'm hoping Teresa right now is sharing with you the
Dealing with
video
the printer today.
of this big behemoth of a printer we have, which has all of these.
It's got a paper jam.
It's got a paper jam, and then
Somewhat.
it gives you the instructions on how to clear this paper jam. So,
Either we suck at it, or
4 different staff members
doesn't know what
went
it's doing.
through
it doesn't
all
know
of
what
the
it's talking
steps.
about.
And it keeps
had-
telling us that there's the same paper jam in the same area, but it's not a paper jam. It is not there. It's absolutely not there.
Pepper jam.
It's nerve-wracking. It's always nerve-wracking. Hopefully I haven't had to open this one yet. I feel like it should be simple.
Is that what you opened first?
I think so.
Oh.
31, right? That looks like that arrow. Open door PF1 and remove misfed paper. I just know I can touch all the green things. Oh, this says PF1.
Oh, good. Then you know for sure.
Oh, okay.
There's the paper.
Oh, that's
Could it be that easy?
the other one I had to do was much harder.
This might be a short video.
Do I need to do this one too, maybe? We'll do all paper.
We good? Or do you do the next thing? Do I have to poke a button?
PF4. Okay, now I gotta open PF4. Aha, PF4. And remove misfed paper. I don't see any paper there. Pull out tray 3 and reload paper.
It looks to be fine.
So this is like fan it.
Oh yes, fan it.
Supposed to fan it. Okay. Maybe that needs to be Okay. There's all the things to tighten up. So we'll try this. Oh, I hear something.
paper crunching. There it is. Well, they maybe thought you could possibly get it from that side. Do you think?
Maybe.
Now you know.
Because is this the one where he says if you shred it too much, then you need to like
Oh, use the
tongs
tweezers?
and like get it out?
And I'm worried this is where it's hot. Does it feel hot?
No, it doesn't feel hot. Oh, there's like it's underneath.
Oh, it was something with rollers. Isn't it that were hot? I don't know. He told us at one point that you could burn yourself.
It's like underneath here.
Well, that was easy.
That was easy. Says the person holding the camera. There you go. All
I
right.
think we got it.
Now I also have to remember to close all the doors. And gently. Okay. It's not shut all the way yet. There we go. Good. And this one.
Yay?
At
least now it's
M1.
moved
I
to-
did that. If paper remains, I gotta move M4 and M5. Is there more paper yet?
There is. I see it. Right here.
Oh, hold on, let me get it all the way out. You jammed it good.
I did.
Oh, oh.
Oh. That's where it had its issues
That's
right
it.
there.
There it is. Okay. Now maybe we got it for
happy now?
realsies. Alright. In. Oh!
Oh. Well, okay.
Okay. One more time. It says M1. Let's see. I'll pull the bottom out. And then it says open covers M9 and M10. Oop. That's a 6, 7. What do you mean covers M9 and M10? Oh, M9.
Oh, way down there.
I got that one already. There's 9 and 11. Where's 10? It's like an Easter egg hunt. but I don't get any candy. Okay, I did that already though.
8, 5. It's got to be down there somewhere. M10 is on the side here.
Oh. Okay.
Nothing?
Well, we got that paper already.
Sometimes, like on the old printer, it just wanted
Sometimes
you
you
to open them,
you have to do all the things.
even if the paper isn't in there.
Okay.
Hopefully it's happy now.
I'm gonna like this side better, I think. It's kind of cute.
I think I'm gonna like what's on the other side better.
Okay, you have a whole.
This is not a hole. This is layering. I want that little bit of turquoise to show. If you will feel better, I will cover it.
I don't want a hole.
It's not a hole. It looks like a hole. I know it looks like a hole, but you see the ball is purple?
That's true. I thought it was blue.
No, not blue
Mine's
ball.
green, so our sight.
Mine is a blue purple ball.
So if the printer worked, so we spent, I don't know, over an hour today trying to get, between all of us, trying to get the printer paper jam to fix, and it never did, and so I can't print or what we need to talk about today.
So we're winging it.
We used to wing it way back when.
We did.
We never had it.
We winged it
out.
better.
I don't know if we winged it better. We winged
What
it.
else is on our little sheet? Do you remember? Something.
We have no clue. That's why we're gonna fumble along, which is what we used to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so last time we talked about the Play Day ribbons, or Play Day. Maynard Loyable thought Play Day started in 1965 when he was there. And so I questioned that because I wasn't really sure, because I had thought it had started earlier than that. And then last YouTube, I found the picture of the ribbons that I posted. And one of them had 1953 on them. And then Nancy, I think, posted in the comments that, what did you post? You just read it.
Oh, that 1953.
Yeah, but that they were done in different cities, schools. So they were done at a different school, and that Nome only had it sometimes.
Let me look at this.
We need more information on this.
Okay.
I remember hearing that.
Playday was mentioned in the 1959 yearbook on the page of the first and second grade class. In 1952, Playday was alluded to being in Litchville. Well then, I think maybe what Maynard meant was that he headed up the Playday in that year, in 1965. Think? Because obviously...
He did, but then he said he thinks it started then.
Yeah,
And that's
and
where
apparently
what
he
we
was
questioned.
wrong. Yeah,
But the Play Day was before that.
yeah.
If it was not just in Nome, I'd be curious to know.
So any of you people that know the answer to this? Now you think I'm going to get this onto that.
Yes.
Are you nuts? There's no way I'm going to try putting this.
This feels kind of felted. I think we can do it.
I'm going to put this on here.
No. What is that going to do?
How in the world? This is minute. Let me see what you got.
Big thighs. This.
Oh, there is just no way this is going on there. Oh my gosh. You are crazy. Okay, this is, okay, I gotta remember from my CNA time is how I put
a
on these. Sock on.
You put nylons on them?
No, I put support hose. There's just no way. It's gotta roll onto here. Did this go easy for you when you did
Oh,
this?
so easy.
Did you get this all on your ball before? How did you do that? Okay, your
Thighs are bigger. So once you get this nylon on here,
maybe if I cut up
felt
further
like crazy.
this.
yes, thigh.
And butt. I did the thigh. I'm doing further thigh business. Okay. I don't know how you did this. Goodness sakes. Unbelievable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's no way that this is going to stretch enough to get on there.
I don't know why you're wearing white tights anyway.
Well,
You can do it. Keep going.
what's on? Oh, yeah. It should be on a little tighter, but slippery. Ellen Secornbutt from Iowa was here, and she was teaching Nuno felting, which is
amazing.
Which,
to see.
yes,
we
oh
had,
my
we had never
goodness.
done Nuno felting. Maybe that's our next project.
Yes, and they embellished these beautiful silk scarves with little curlies and with wool and with blending fibers like this, and oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful.
And then they also did a
Waldorf.
play mat,
Yes, which was
fun to see.
so. Do you have pictures of this? Because I have
do.
Carla's is still here, so
Yeah, I have pictures of the play mats and the Nuno felted scarves.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really cute.
yes. Should you be keeping this wet? Probably.
I don't know, mine is pretty wet. As long as it's not pulling apart underneath there, just rubbing and.
And this is wet felting as opposed to needle felting. And wet felting, obviously, you need soap, agitation, and hot water, and that's what we have. How do you know when it's done? I bet these edges aren't done enough. I suppose you really have to concentrate on the edges, is that right?
I don't know. On the last one, I felt it a lot more before I put it in the stocking, so that I could see.
How much it was felting?
Yeah. But I guess I was surprised at how well it was felted when it came out too. So
We've had kind of a busy week here at the schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Our rooms are being booked more frequently than ever before, which is awesome. People are
realizing we're open all the time.
yeah, and they're booking more than once, which is awesome. Yes, and that's what we wanted. So,
Like the group that was here today, I was coming down the steps when they were leaving, and I heard one of them say, "I just don't want to leave."
oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we hear that a lot. Make sure the bottom is important. Okay, I think I'm done.
It's time. I think it's time.
So what do we do?
You take it out. When you're not going to have to like deflate your ball because yours is coming off.
Pulling my felt apart because it's stuck to the nylon. Okay. Now what?
You peel yours off of your ball. I need to deflate my ball. Is it beautiful? Turn it inside out now.
Oh, wow. Look at that. This could be a little
It's beautiful.
beanie. This is really pretty.
Beanie.
This is really pretty. Ta-da! Okay, I need to get closer, so. You need to see this close up. Isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's very, very wet, but this is so pretty. Wow, I like the yarn on there.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay, so
Adds a
this
lot.
just has to sit and dry then.
And it's a cute bowl because it's like the perfect.
I love it. So I'm just going to let it sit here. And let it dry. That's cute.
We made a mess.
We did. I better gather up these extras here, excuse me. So that, yeah. There we go.
Here's the reveal.
Let's see what yours looks like. Oh, interesting.
Here's the inside. I hope these are stuck.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, that is gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, I love the banana silk.
I do too. I like the way
it kind of opens up and spreads out, and
yeah.
Gorgeous.
Once I figured out how to do it.
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous.
I hope it stays on there. Some of it.
You got to hold it up close to the camera.
I don't know what it's going to be. Okay, I can cut the top off a little bit more for it to be like a little purse.
Today, Teresa was sending me videos of what was that? That had to have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Two.
And it was during YouTube, and we just had a different attitude. You know, here we were in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of a major renovation.
Getting ready for our grand opening of the gym during a pandemic.
And things were going wrong, things weren't being done, and we were just like,
We were actually getting shocked every
Yeah,
time we touched a fridge, which didn't make any sense.
or other metal device in the kitchen, and it was just.
You cannot try clothes on anywhere. Anywhere. And we have 2 days before this
2 days.
thing goes on.
Today we're waiting for the electrician and the
Because we get shocked
insulation
every
guy.
time we touch something metal in this
The
place.
insulation guy to come, and so we missed our opportunity to go
Well,
shopping
we
for clothes.
praise him. If you're watching, where are you?
I'm done.
I need to get home and die. I do not have time to be trying to figure out our electrocution problems.
Side, Chris.
I am not touching the side. Do you want to come here? How about
Touch. I did.
film you touching the side.
It just makes me really mad.
Painful.
Yeah, it
And
was,
people were laughing at us because they didn't believe it.
yeah, it was. And lo and behold, we were right, because something wasn't grounded, and as soon as it was grounded, then all was well. And it took the electrician to figure that out.
But I was going through pictures today to try and come up with a question for this week's YouTube, and I came across them, and I was like, look at how happy and silly we were
Yeah,
amidst this crazy time.
yeah.
And now we're feeling stress about money, making payments.
We have a list.
We have a list.
Brown. Why won't it turn brown?
I wonder if we should use Microsoft Team Essentials.
The filter's broke.
A new PMS system.
The filter's broke again.
She doesn't dislike you.
Teresa, the sheep are out.
The filter's broke.
We have this payment coming up. We need to skim money.
Can I pay this bill? Did we block that room?
Oh, yes, yes. She does it different than you. But that's okay. Everyone does it different.
I appreciate your advice.
Teresa.
At least it didn't have any maggots.
Oh, yes, we should be open every night. Absolutely.
Of course I couldn't print. The printer isn't working.
Maggots?
It won't let you sign in.
My phone won't print to the printer.
Oh, get off me. A maggot!
My computer will not print to the printer.
Paper jam?
The printer won't print. You should be open every night.
Right.
The filter's broke again.
The sheep are out.
I think the website's broken. Which account is that payment supposed to come out of? Somebody called and they can't check out.
The sheep are out again?
We all do it different. I do it different.
Jeff, the sheep are out.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your advice.
Where's the maggot spray?
Where did that bill come from? It's $3,000.
She didn't mean that. You just need to talk to her.
I just need to be in the mill.
Printer doesn't work again.
It says brown on the package. I followed the instructions.
You sheared a sheep's butt on your birthday? So we have a list of issues that we're dealing with, and
Yes.
we seem to be handling it a lot differently
Yes.
than we did back then.
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out what that is.
It's been a little bit of a struggle as of late. It's been like, okay, let's just sell the school. It's just so much. You know, I mean, it's one thing to have two businesses. We have like 3 businesses, and trying to balance and juggle and
one we know very well.
and the other one we don't.
two-
We're just learning. It's just a trial and error. It's yeah, yeah. But
And we lose our focus in the middle of it all.
It is so-
trying
it's-
to
yes.
think of ways to make money, and I think if we were to just stay within what we were led to do, I think that we just
Yeah.
have to have faith that we'll succeed.
right, and it's kind of the panic situation. I know for myself, it's like, oh, this, because now we have this large payment that we're making every month, and it's like, oh, the money isn't there. Okay, I need to just take the reins back from God. I need to just figure out how to make more money come into the school, and it's like, he must just sit up there just, have I taught her nothing? I mean, good grief. I can look back over my life, and I mean, he's never ever in 50, however old I am. How old am I? 50
You're like
something. I'm like
64.
65. For the 65 years of my life, he's never ever, ever, ever failed me. Why in the world would he just be, done? Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So, yeah, so shame on me. Anywho, anything to add?
Amen.
Amen. We got a few questions that we need to go through.
So, Chris and Teresa, are you playing
Or experimenting with any new project concepts or ideas. Well, we have been thinking about doing felting on a resist, hence what we just went through. Mention the issue of diarrhea. With 300 plus sheep, do you have a system for keeping an eye on them for health issues? Which you do. You have an amazing system. Like when you rotate them, do you do a quick check? Just wondering how you keep track of all the different things that can go wrong. I'm also interested in learning more about milkweed and sheep.
Okay, so checking the sheep is a major thing for a shepherd. And we have noticed that when we're rotating them every couple days, it makes it a lot easier
To see them on
on
a
a daily
couple,
basis.
2-3 days.
I
Yep.
mean, because you can tend to neglect them if you're not, out there every day having to deal
Right,
with it.
right.
So every 2 or 3 days, they're all running by you.
Yeah.
As they're going into the next pen, so you can see if somebody has diarrhea
Right,
or
right.
issues like that.
Or limping or...
And up here in Nome, we just go check them at least once a week. And then the fact that we have to run them through and do these vaccinations has been helping a lot.
Yeah.
With the worming, deworming, and things. So that has been very helpful. Just driving down the driveway, I mean, you're always looking at them from every angle, seeing what they're doing. So just driving down the driveway the other day, I was like, Jeff, we need to look at this one lamb that I just saw it standing there. I think it has, poopy butt. We need to go look at it to make sure it doesn't have maggots. And yeah, you're always just watching. If they're standing with their ears hanging down, or monitoring of them, which is important. And sometimes you can go several days and you're like, we should go check the sheep because any number of things can happen. If they get any cut, or if they get any type of any blood anywhere, that's when the maggots,
Yeah.
the flies and the maggots just attack.
Come, yeah.
So it is very important to monitor them all the time.
And then milkweed. I mean, you spoke about how they like to eat milkweed,
Yes.
and that you were told that it's not good for them, but they.
So I had read when we first started raising sheep that they shouldn't be, exposed to milkweed, and they eat it. They eat the leaves right off. It's just the stalk left. And I don't know how much they would have to eat to make it poisonous, but we had read that it was poisonous, and I don't really understand that. We have a lot of milkweed. The other day when I went to pick up Jeff, he had to change fields and stuff for haying, and so I was bringing him out there, and I was like, look at all this milkweed. Why is there so much milkweed? And you try to get rid of the weeds. You want more of the things that the nutrients for the sheep, and just never want an overgrowth of weeds. And milkweed is weed.
Yum.
Milkweed.
Milkweed.
Yeah, and other than that, I don't know any more about that, other than I remember in second grade when my teacher told me that monarchs will have their cocoons on milkweed. And I remember going out because we were supposed to go find a cocoon, and I remember going home and I found one on one, and I was so excited. That's what I think every time I see a milkweed, but they're not killing my sheep. I don't want them to take over our pasture, but that's all I know about milkweed.
And I know it's not fun to spin the fluff from milkweed. You can spin it, but it's not
Right.
fun.
I sold some the other day.
Did you really?
In the
Awesome.
store. Last week's question was, where did Teresa work in Bowden, North Dakota? And the most random question ever. And I know they've been difficult, the questions. Last week's question was difficult. This week's question, we often struggle when we're looking for a question for YouTube. And Gail was sitting there, and she said, she offered up this question. So when Jeff and I were first married, he was living in Bowden, and before we even got married, the local butcher called up Jeff and said, I hear you're getting married. Does your wife need a job? Does your wife need a job? And he's like, oh, maybe, yes, sure. And so I had a job before we got married. Mike and Lucky, who owned the Bowden Locker and Grocery, they hired me before we were married. And so I started working at the grocery store shortly after we were married. I had a degree in Parks and Recreation, and there's no parks. So,
In Bowden.
no.
So you worked at the grocery store.
I worked at the grocery store.
That's kinda cool.
And they were the most amazing employees, and it was a beautiful community, and I got to know so many people at the grocery store.
Including Gail.
And Gail was one of them, which is a funny story, where she came to a class of mine here when we were just having classes in the gym. And I didn't know who she was until when she said her name was Whitaker. And I was like, Whitaker. So when I lived in Bowden, we lived, right when we were first married, we lived in this house, and there was the Whitakers that lived right next to us, and they had another house, and somebody sold it on an auction, they bought it, and we rented it from them. And it was a cute little house, and so we rented from the Whitakers. And so I knew Gail then at the grocery store. She would come in, and I remember Mike he was so impressed that she bought all of her groceries at this local grocery store. And she really supported the Bowden grocery store instead of getting all of her stuff in, a bigger town. And so when I realized who she was, I was like, I knew you like 30 years ago. And since then we've become really good friends, and she is on our university board, and she's the one that came up with the question. So quite a story behind
Pretty cool.
that. So it was the Bowden Locker and Grocery, and the prize winner was Patsy Flatton. And I didn't even realize that Patsy watches YouTube. Patsy was my coworker at the Bowden Locker and Grocery. And
Pretty
so
cool.
She, of course, knew where I worked there, and it was a fun time of my life where when I first started working at Bowden Grocery Store, I was a new bride, and so Mike would say, Pearlyburg, come here, do this, Pearlyburg. I was like, oh, that is so new to me. That was my new, married name. But yeah, so it was there wasn't a lot of young people in Bowden, so I didn't have a lot of people to hang around with. So it was my coworkers and family at the Bowden Locker and Grocery.
Next week's question.
Yes. What did Chris announce in EweTube 49? She announced something pretty special. And then what did Teresa,
Teresa, that's a good one.
what did Teresa say she would include in the academy? There's so many things in this EweTube. And I don't know if anybody's ever read There's a Monster at the End of This Book. My sister and I had it when we were growing up, and it was Grover. And there's a monster at the end of this book. Don't turn the page. Please don't turn the page. And then you would turn the page, of course. You turn the page. Anyway, we would read that to my little brother. And so at the end of EweTube number 49 is the monster. You'll have to watch it.
I'm going to have to go back and watch it myself.
And at one point, we were sitting in the rubble of the EweTube
room
studio. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll just pick a random EweTube to watch, just to bring me back to what it was all about. And yeah, we were sitting in the rubble of the future EweTube studio, and then it was so hot in there, we moved out to the future edition. So, yeah. Wow. And then there was the monster, which is kind of funny.